We want to talk today about some of the habits of Xactimate estimating success. Perhaps you're familiar with an article that we wrote on this that was published with
Restoration and Remediation Magazine online.
You can reference that to get a little more in depth, and we have links to other articles, a free ebook that we wrote, The 10 Commandments of Xactimate Estimating Success. You may not have heard it before, but I'd like you to lock it in now. Your role in the insurance claim and property restoration, putting people's homes and businesses back together, as an estimator, you're part of
telling the story of that loss.
You're a storyteller. You're a storyteller.
And friends of ours at Home Estimating Services commented on LinkedIn. There's different types of storytellers.
There's the J.K. Rowlings, the Stephen Kings, or the Mark Twains.
And they even came up with the adventures of Claim Finn, right? And it should be an adventure. We've committed our lives to this industry. Not our lives, but our professional lives. It feeds our families. We get to do good every day. Whether you're an adjuster or a claims professional, or you're in the property restoration side of things, we're helping people put their homes and businesses back together after the worst has happened. So we should take some pride in that. We should develop our habits for success in that role and do so intentionally.
That's our motto at the DOJO, develop intentionally.
So if we're telling the story of the loss, right? We're using our estimates to tell the story of the loss. What are some of the things that we can look at that set us apart, set us up for success? What are some of the things that you've seen that demonstrate
a lack of experience or training
with the tool of Xactimate, or just
a lack of care? A lack of care. A lack of care.
One thing I could see, I would start with this. It shouldn't even be allowed, but I see it on both sides of the equation, is a sketch, right? Those of you that work in Xactimate know your sketch is what starts everything. It's a line item based program. If you do a correct sketch, it helps you do your calculations easily. But how many of you have seen sketches that look like this? And maybe these aren't even labeled, right? This is room 1, this is room 2. I have no idea where these are in relationship to the structure. I have no idea where these rooms are in relationship to the loss source or the extent of damages. A lot of times I've seen estimates where room 1 is on the main floor, room 2 is on the second floor. You only get to determine that once you've seen the photos, and even then you're trying to put the pieces together.
This does not help tell the story.
You're not helping people that are reviewing this claim that maybe are never going to be on site understand. You're not helping your client get a quicker access to a good resolution, and you're not putting your teams in position to be able to rock and roll and get this approved and put back on course. I think that's a lack of care. If you're writing like this and no one's trained you, please seek help. There's so much good resources out there. Unfortunately, sometimes you go to class and people want to brag about how they can do complex roof sketches or spiral staircases. That would be my other question.
How many spiral staircases do you see in a year?
You know, those are specialty situations, and you do not have to master those super technical aspects to just set yourself apart and really be successful with the program. They're great if you do them. I don't want to knock those, but they're not critical to being an Xactimate, proficient Xactimate professional.
Pet peeve of mine, though,
would be, I just don't understand it, the non-sequential estimates, right? It's like,
Grab.
every line item I can find, throw it against the wall and hope that it sticks.
A lot of the estimates out there.
If you write like that, I would like to challenge you to get some kind of structure. Everyone that I've ever worked with, whether it's a peer or someone I've been training, the companies we've worked with to try to help them get some SOPs together, think in simplest terms, right?
Either top to bottom or bottom to top.
So it's either, we're going top down or we're going bottom up.
What do we mean by that?
Well, if it's a sprinkler line or a water line that happened to be up in the attic and it leaked downward, let's start from the point of the loss and work our way down. Is there insulation up there? Then what is the ceiling material made of? What is the texture? What is the paint type? Is it different than the walls? Do we have any crown molding? Do we have fixtures, light fixtures? And then we're coming down. What's the wall material? What's the wall texture? What's the paint type? Do we have any fixtures on the wall, cabinets, appliances, any of those kinds of things? What's our baseboard type? Do we have insulation in this wall? Do we have other things behind this wall? And that's a good time too, your mitigation technicians, or if your repair's coming after mitigation, what's on the other side of this wall? Did we determine how far the loss and the damage went? So we're down to baseboard. You know, do we have any quarter round? Now we're on the floor. What is the floor type? Is this the only layer? What's the sub layer to that? Is there another layer of vinyl under that, or a layer of tile, or anything else? What is the decking material under there? We have, if we've gotten down to the bottom, do we have a crawl space? Are we on a slab? Is there a basement down below?
So that would be your top down or your bottom.
We should be approaching it consistently so that way we can set ourselves up for success and try not to miss those things. I am a big fan of headings within rooms. We break that down some in the article. If you have questions on that, please reach out. We talk about it too in our free ebook, The 10 Commandments of Xactimate, Estimating Success.
That's a mouthful.
Your training program, whether it's for yourself or for a team, or if you're a large company and you're putting that together, we want to get clarity on, you know, what are the tools for success. We want to be consistent so that way if we're reviewing each other's estimates, you know, no estimate should go out if you have that capacity without another peer or a supervisor looking at it, right? Not because maybe you wrote it wrong, but we might have missed something. There's typically going to be change orders and things that we discover, but if we can capture as much as possible on the front end, that helps us to get a better product out from the start, right? And then we're not trying to play catch up. And if it's things that we should know as professionals, you know, that's how we get better, right?
It's just mastering the basics.
There's so many great resources out there that if you really want to take your estimating game to the next level, there's people very, very smart that have developed systems that'll help you do that. But a lot of it just starts with mastering the basics. You know, if
Every time you go on a loss,
you should be, you know, taking your photos from the outside. You do your walkthrough. You know, take photos from the four corners of the room. Take photos of the loss and extent of damages. You know, if you got contents, you know, that's a whole nother ball game. And then start your sketch. You know, simple things like starting your sketch from a corner so that way once you get out into the field, you know, you're not trying to figure out how things line up. Your tick notes, again, that top to bottom or bottom to top. Let's get some clarity on our process. Let's be consistent with it. And then with that clarity and consistency combined, we can hold ourselves accountable to a standard, and we can hold our teams accountable to say, hey, this is how we do this. And it also speeds up that internal review process before you ever send it off. If you're involved in property restoration, you have the honor of helping homeowners and business owners put their structures back together after the worst has happened. And so we should take a lot of pride in that. And most of the people I work with do. Some people just haven't given this a lot of thought. You know, it's like setting your estimate apart. Your estimate's a reflection of you. It helps expedite the process for your customers. So finding ways to stand out, to make that story make sense, chapters, headings, you know, your narrative kind of sets up your table of contents, you know, so it kind of gives people an overview.
If this has been of value to you,
We'd love to hear your feedback. If you have further questions, please reach out. Take a look at our free ebook, The 10 Commandments of Xactimate Estimating Success. There's links to our other articles. You can find us, other videos we have on YouTube, or check out our website, izvents.com. In the Dojo, our motto is develop intentionally, and we hope you find this helpful.